Ayun, Professor Chua. Ano ito? High school picture mo ba ito linagay mo? Dr. Chua. Alam mo, nainggit ako sa picture mo. Gusto ko rin lagay ang high school picture ko nung may buhok pa ako.
Pampabata po, pampabata.
Oo, it worked. Alam mo, I was the one who recommended kasi narinig na kita. Napakagaling mo, Dr. Chua. You know, I used to be a history teacher sa Lasal. And I was not as successful as you.
Nako naman po.
Oo, kasi yung tinuro ko lang, in 1973 ata yun, I was teaching Rizal. And ginulo ko talaga yung usapan about Rizal. So yun lang ang aking konting experience sa pagturo ng history. Itong si Professor Chua, guys, please remember him. If you want to understand Filipino history, wala pa akong narinig sa kanya na hindi ako nag-agree. Ang galing talaga. Alam mo, I wish I had taken the advanced degrees you did because napaka-importante talaga. And you know, I'm a Lasal boy. So, syempre, binibida ko yung mga kamukha mong nagtuturo sa Lasal.
Salamat po. Juan Lasal. Animo.
Animo. Pero alam mo, kami ni Eric, nag-aral din kami sa Ateneo. So, meron akong dalawang...
Magkaibigan na po. Nung panahon ninyo, nagwawasakan pa yata ng kotse sa PBA yan. Ay sa ano.
NCA. Noon. Naging UARP na.
So wala na ulit ngayon. Ano na sila? Kahit sa political stand, hanggang dikit. Ang Ateneo at Lasal ngayon.
Dr. Chua, alam mo ba, I lost 2 windshields to Ateneo. 2 windshield ang... So malaki ang donation ko sa Ateneo.
Kanto na ninyo ano.
Ay nako, ang yabang ko kasi ang laki-laki ng Lasal na logo ko, yung parang 1 foot, naganap akong malaki talaga. Pagbalik ko after the game, basag yung windshield ko. Linagyan ko uli, basag uli, same car. Sabi ko hindi nadadala.
2 sticker na lang para walang basagan.
Oo nga. Yun ang mali ko. I should have also put. Kaya lang, baka mapana ng archer yung lumilipad na kawawa naman kung tatamaan ng pana natin.
Yun na nga po. Diyan nag-away yung yung legend, the 1939, the very first talo ng Ateneo sa Lasal. The Lasalians went to the Padre Paura campus of Ateneo and they paraded. And then they threw dead chicken. Ang ibang version, fried chicken daw. Why? Because the Green Archers shot down the Blue Eagles.
And
the Ateneans felt insulted and never forgot it. Buti na lang, I graduated from UP. So wala akong sa away na yan.
Oo. Pero in reality, yung kwentong ganyan ni Dr. Chua is what we are looking for today. Kasi nga, when I we said, how do I get this guy? Kasi napakagaling niya. So nagpapakilala po kami sa inyo, Dr. Chua, at nagpapasalamat na pinaunlakan nyo kami. And by the way, as a Kapampangan, hanggang doon na lang ang Tagalog ko. That's it. Magsalita na lang
Magsalita kayo po Kapampangan still?
Opo, taga Kapampangan ko po.
Tablang Kapampangan pero di takmo po. I lack vocabulary
Ikami po rin yapkin tarlak. Ikami rin pangunakan ko rin at sugan.
Wow. I was just meeting with Governor Susan because she is consulting with me about her new museum.
Yun. Sabi ni Aping sa akin na pamangking ko siya. Kasi that's my generation ni Aping.
Opo.
Yan.
Baka pinsan, pamangkin, sobra naman si tatakapin.
Pamangkin kasi si Dr. Angeles is my first cousin.
Ay, wow.
And si Maning was telling me na I have to talk to Susan regarding this and that. Sabi ko, wag na, hindi po ako politiko. Sabi ko, I'm just an ordinary volunteer masquerading as a teacher. You know, tonight we are, Dr. Joie, so we're really happy that you're here.
all of you are heroes. And you know, let me take off from the talk of our Dr. Xiao Chua na 500 taon na tayong bilang isang bansa. In 1521, when the Spaniards arrived, up to today, it's been 500 years. Bago dumating mga Espanyol, we were just thousands of tribes speaking thousands of languages, floating in a sea of thousands of islands. Then the Spanish came in 1521, and by force of arms, their muskets, we became a nation by force of arms. Then the Americans came, then the Japanese came, then we were granted independence. And we were given a chance for our society to evolve, a chance to develop a sense of oneness, a sense of purpose, a national identity. It's been 500 years, and I would like to ask all of you if you think that our society is progressing as a nation, as a society. And I mean progressing not just in the economic, financial sense, but culturally, historically, na kung meron pa dyan ngayon, may gusto mag-historical revisionism. So if you take a look at our society today, tama nga si Dr. Xiao Chua, na parang iba yung sa Facebook, iba yung sa social media, iba yung nangyayari pag lumabas ka. Kung titignan mo nga sa social media, sasabihin mo ba, are we a society in progress, regressing, or are we a society decaying? Lalo na kung social media ang batayan. Pero dahil sa mga hometown heroes, dahil sa spirit of volunteerism, alam niyo, ang dami pa dyan na hindi natin nakikilala, hindi pa natin alam, doing small things para sa kanilang kapwa. Pakikipagkapwa-tao, ika nga. The bayanihan spirit. It's all of you. All the heroes, those recognized and those yet to be discovered, and all those who just keep on doing day in, day out, helping each other with the spirit of volunteerism. You are the people that gives meaning to what it means to be a Filipino. You are the glue that gives us a society, a sense of national identity. So, mabuhay po tayong lahat. Mabuhay ang BCYF Foundation. Mabuhay si Tony Yap. At maraming salamat sa lahat ng staff ng hardworking ng BCYF na who made this all possible. Who made this occasion quite memorable. Again, congratulations to everyone. Mabuhay tayong lahat.
Meron lang ako request to everybody. Paki-like yun naman itong mga pages ni Professor Chua. Alam mo, I'm one of those na nag-enjoy, nagbabasa at tumitingin sa kanyang Please, I request everyone to support Professor Chua's sites. Although, pag nilalagay niya picture niya ganyan, naiingit ako talaga. Alam mo, meron akong picture na I was, I think, not even 150 pounds. Malapit ko nalagay yan sa Saka mahaba pang buhok ko nun, Dr. Professor Chua.
Kami yan, 200 pounds ago.
Ako, yung picture na lalagay ko is the 160 years ago. So maraming salamat, Professor Joie. I really appreciate that you shared. May natutuhan ako ngayon. So I'm gonna start telling people, wani ka ba? Diba? Pag-ani ka ba? May natutuhan ako. Itamong Kapampangan, tabali, pero masanting nga bagi. Sorry, nag-German lang ako sandali.
Oo nga.
Para
Salamat po. Thank you po.
Oo.
So,
Leo,
Professor,
maraming salamat.
Thank
Ang
you,
hindi-
Professor
Saka,
Chua.
our winner, at Tarlac prisons pa yung kanyang sineserve, no?
Yes.
So, I am very happy to hear your story. Kasi
Grabe,
sometimes, sa Tarlac, chill lang kami eh. Kaso naalala mo, si Nuesca, doon niya binaril si yung mag-ina, di ba? Sa Paniki. And that is, di ba, yung prison na sineserve mo is one of the prisons there. So, thank you kasi we also need the inspiring stories. Tahimik lang kasi tayo eh, di ba? Oo. Salamat. Sa breastfeeding, still the best.
Oo. Pero Professor, dapat kailangan ma-recruit ka namin to other things kasi alam mo, marami kang pwedeng i-share talaga. I really appreciate it. One time, kikwentuhan ka namin yung ibang ginagawa namin kasi tahimik lang kami. Pakibisita mo naman ang website namin.
Ako, tinitignan ko actually. Before I went to talk to you here.
Sige, alam mo nangyari sa amin na na-hack. It took us almost 3 years to get it back. So yun, that's why marami kami nilagay sa Facebook. Pero we should, kasi I think Philippine history, a sense of history, is one of the foundations of what we do as volunteers. And if we know that we as Filipinos,
that is true,
have this unique concept na kinwento mo on kapwa, ang galing. Kailangan mayabang tayo talaga compared to some of these guys in the West, di ba? Marami tayong pwedeng pagmayabang. So kaming dalawa ni Al, kaming tatlo ni Tija at saka ni Eric, at 10 ng kaibigan namin o 12. Yan ang aming sasabihin ko. Sabi ni Professor Chua ganito. Di ba?
and I think, Sir Tony, just to add, you can only love a person when you know him or her. Diba?
Yeah.
It's the same with love of country. We should know our country. And that is why thank you din kay Senator TG. Senator TG for alluding to my talk. And also talaga salamat po sa public service ng inyong pamilya. Nagdadala ako ng books kasi yung tatay, not so many people know that his father is also an author. Ang dami-dami palang libro niyan. Tapos nakikita ko sa mga bookstore, sa mga online shops. Dinadala ko sa bahay nyo, bahay ni Senator Gingona noon. So, but anyway, I hope you are all okay. And sana po tuloy-tuloy din yung public service natin. Thank you so much.
Salamat din po. Maraming salamat po.
So Professor Chua, kailangan itong si Miss Gabor at saka si Miss Gregorio, kailangan isama nila yung mga history lessons from you sa ginagawa nila. Para itong mga nasa anong tawag mo, PDLs, di ba? Matutuhan nila yung kasi walang sense of history ng marami. Di ba? Ako mayabang akong Pilipino, I always tell people, pag nasa Pilipinas ako tahimik ako, pag nasa labas ako mayabang akong Pilipino. Ang dami nating pwedeng pagmayabang. Tahimik kami as BCY, pero pag outside the Philippines, hindi. They should know how good a people we are. Look at all the people around you here. Look at these examples, di ba? Of Myla and si Bernadette. Grabe, Marami
and
pa
all
yan.
our nominees. Yung mga nominees natin. All of you are so inspiring. Yun lang nagbigay ng lupa, matindi yun Lupa, pinag-aawayan yan And he said it's just 1.9 hectare lang ang lupa niya. So he gave most of it to the school. Just imagine that, Sana hindi ko kayo inaway ng mga anak niyo, Nagbibiro lang po ako.
But that's why there's hope, Professor. That's why there's hope because of examples like the people you meet through this award, di ba? Kaya marami akong pasalamat dito kay Eric. Mahirap ang trabaho yung ni-request ko kay Eric. So,
you talked about hope, Sir Tony. Last na lang po, I know I'm being talkative again, but next week we're commemorating the 150th birth anniversary of Andres Bonifacio. And it's no surprise that the father of the Filipino nation chose May Pag-asa as his nom de guerre. in the Katipunan. I thought it was lame. Kasi bakit hindi mabangis yung kanyang nickname? He could have called himself Alakdan or Halimaw or something like that. But he called himself May Pag-asa, which I thought at first was lame. But I then realized that during his time, when you're born an Indio, mamamatay kang Indio eh. Walang kalayaan, walang asenso. And so, this guy hopes na with his action, with his love of country, may kakaroon ng pag-asa ang isang bayang walang pag-asa. So, apparently, even if hope is like masyadong gasgas na term, in a hopeless world, it is what we need. And thank you for pushing for hope when we recognize that the hope that is innate in the Filipino, kasi hindi naman gagawin yan ng mga nominees natin, yung kanilang ginagawa, if they do not hope that the country will be better. So gumigising tayong lahat sa pag-asa na yon. That's why we are doing what we are doing. People might not recognize at first, but sabi nga ni Salud Algabre, isang Amazonang warrior ng Sakdal Revolt noong 1935, no revolution fails. Everything is a step to the right direction. Walang hakbang tayong ginagawa na hindi hakbang tungo sa tamang direksyon. Salamat po muli at pasensya na ho kayo sa kadaldalan ko.
Hindi, Professor Chua, may sasabihin lang ako sa iyo bago tayo mag-launch ng Professor Chua, when I founded yung ating foundation in 1993, ang pinili kong anniversary was November 30. Ang fiscal year namin is December 1 to November 30. Kasi sabi ko, when I studied history in Lasal in the 60s, sabi ko, ang hero na gusto kong tandaan natin was Bonifacio. So sabi ko, ang aming foundation will have an anniversary month, pero ang highlight is November 30. And palaging ang ginagawa lang namin is to have a recollection and a mass to recommit ourselves to the idea that there is always a better tomorrow. And that naunahan mo ako, sasabihin ko, yung kanyang pangalang ginamit ay May Pag-asa. Salamat for reminding all of us kasi that is why ang foundation day ng BCYF is November 30. Yan, nag-agree ako na first president siya. Yan ang tinuturo ko. That's why I said when I taught Rizal, nanggulo ako. Kasi yan ang aking tinutulak na. Anyway, wala naman nakikinig sa akin, pero okay lang. Di ba?
No, it's okay. Earlier, before I went to this Zoom room, my lecture is in the national webinar of the Department of Education. And my topic was that, Andres Bonifacio as the first president. And there were 1,000 viewers. So, sabi ko, this is not the official stand of NHCP or the DepEd, but they allowed me to talk to you, so I will do it.
Can we get a copy of that? I-post namin sa aming website, yung talk mo.
Bibigyan ko po si Joie.
Oo, with your permission. Kasi nga, ang galing mo magsalita, hindi ako nakakatulog eh. You know, I have been up since 9:30 p.m. the other night. Diretso ako hanggang ngayon. And ginising mo ako, so I really appreciate that. Maraming salamat. Taga ng Itamong Kapampangan at Intamon talagang bangis na eh.
Pero painawa kayo po, painawa.
Opo, matuwa na ako po. Opo. So, thank you. Ang daming dito hindi nagsasalita but I appreciate their presence. So,
Sir
Ana,
Tony?
yes, go
Sir
ahead.
Tony, pwede po akong magbatiin. Sir
But
Chua,
in as much as you like.
I'm enjoying listening, especially po kay Sir Chua, yung mga kwento niya sa history. Sir Chua, baka pwede idagdag mo na sa history mo. Tanggalin na po natin yung breastfeeding is best. We don't use it anymore. Because when you say breastfeeding is best po, ay merong comparison. But ang ating pong ebidensya ay nagpapakita na hindi po siya pwedeng i-compare dun sa ginagamit ng iba. Ang ginagamit po natin ngayon ay breastfeeding is the biological norm. Yun po.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that correction.
Thank you.
Hopefully, breastfeeding should be the only choice because Micaela Fudolig, who was the 14-year-old physics graduate, 14-year-old physics graduate, I asked her mother, what is the secret why your daughter is intelligent? Imagine mo, 14 years old, physics graduate. Physics, she told me, and summa cum laude graduate in UP Diliman. And she told me that first 3 years or 4 years was pure breastfeeding. That was the reason why ang talino daw ni Micaela. Of course, kasama na yung nurturing and all, but I believe that breastfeeding is really had a big part in it.
Ang tinuturo po namin ngayon, sir, kasama po dun sa Mother, Infant, and Child Feeding program ay 6 months po na exclusive breastfeeding. So wala pong kahalong anything, wala pong tubig, walang and then pwede po as long as 7 years kung masaya pa, gusto pa, kaya pa ng mag-ina. But minimum po sana ay 2 years and beyond. Pwede po hanggang 7 years old yung bata. Pero 6 months po yung exclusive breastfeeding at sasamahan na po yun ng masustansyang pagkain. Sana po ay local, fresh na mga prutas at gulay. Yun po. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Professor Chua, good evening po.
Pakasaysayan
Hello.
namin ko, Sir Mom. Apo.
Pwede po ba magtanong? May tatanong po sana ako kung totoo na yung po bang mga unang mga Kastilang pumunta sa Pilipinas nung panahon nila Magellan, naligaw po ba sila? Akala po ba nila ang napuntahan nila ay India?
Ay, ano
Kasi
po yun?
ang
Si
tawag nila
Columbus
sa
po yun. Si Columbus. Si Columbus po yung
yun.
akala niya naligaw siya sa India.
Kasi ang tawag po doon sa mga nadatnan niya doon, Indio
Nauna
Totoo
po
po
si
ba yun?
Columbus. Tama po, pero si Columbus po yun. So,
Si Columbus po
he
ba
left
yun?
Spain. He left Spain after 34 days, if I'm not mistaken. Sobrang naluma. Parang naluma si Columbus kay Magellan because Magellan was out for 1.5 years. Si Columbus was out for 35 days and he already reached the Caribbean, which is America. Okay, part of America. And he thought that he already encircled the world. He was earlier than Magellan. So when he went there, he saw that they were these people. He thought they were Indians, so they called them Indios. Eventually, that term for local of the Americas was also called to us by the Spaniards. Na-transform na lang yan into derogatory. It was not supposed to be derogatory, but because of eventually nagkaroon na rin ng parang naging loaded yung term na Indios. Naging derogatory po siya. But Jose Rizal wanted to appropriate it and he called themselves Indios Bravos. So if inaapi nila tayo with that name, it's like Bangsamoro. Moro for the Muslims is actually an insult, but the Bangsamoro people said, we're going to appropriate it. If they hate it for it, we're going to appropriate it and we will make it our name. And so now we have the Bangsamoro region as a proud people, a part of the Philippines but with their own identity. So pareho din ng Indios.
Okay, thank you po. Maraming salamat.
Salamat
Thank
po.
you.
Professor, may question po ako. Na-curious lang po ako. Sabi nyo kanina yung Moro, parang insult yun sa kanila. So ano pong ibig sabihin ng Moro?
Moro, there are actually what do you call this? Theories kung bakit Moro ang tawag sa... Kasi remember, and that's why the Spaniards did not like Manila or the Manileños because they were ruled by Muslims. And remember that the Spaniards were conquered by the Muslims for 700 years. So remember, the Spaniards colonized the Filipinos for 300 years. The Moors, the Moros, the Muslims from Northern Africa conquered the Spain, many areas of Spain for 700 years. So ang makikita natin dito was the term Moro for Muslims, for the people in Northern Africa, either came from taga Mauritania kasi. So Moro, or they were also called Moros because maitim sila. So it's actually loaded. It's a loaded term that means black. So when you call someone black today, parang ganun din siya. May racist tendencies. But the Moros are a proud people kasi nga they were able to conquer the Iberian Peninsula, not just Spain but Portugal, and they were only able to reconquer everything actually just a few decades before Columbus. So they would kumbaga when they went out to conquer lands, kakabuo lang nila ulit from the Moors. So yun po yung medyo theories lang why they were called Moros.
Pwede rin
And
ako
then when they
magtanong.
came to the Philippines, Moro din yung tinawag sa mga Muslim na nandito. Apo.
Racial term.
Pwede rin ba ako magtanong, Professor?
Sige po.
Nandun tayo sa history.
Pasensya na po kayo at baka yung mga iba gusto
No,
na
it's very
umuwi.
interesting Very interesting. Have you heard of this Baybayin, our original script writing ng Filipino?
Yes po. But there are many baybayins. So medyo when
Regional.
there is an issue now, of course, on the propagation of baybayin, but the one that they are proposing is the propagation of the Tagalog baybayin, which is different from the Kapampangan baybayin, which is called Pulitan, which is different from the Mindoro baybayin and the Visayan baybayin. So actually, there are many writing systems in the country. Tama rin si Sir TG that we had about 100, even today we have 171 languages. So multicultural, multi-ethnic, and apparently multi-writing system people before. So yun po yung baybayin, yes.
So marami palang klase ng Baybayin.
Opo. In Kapampangan, the Kulitan was used exclusively by shamans. So even kaya hindi siya naging malaganap sa mga Kapampangan because only the Kapampangan healers knew about it and you don't just use it. So medyo there are some stories that were told to me by those who were able to learn Kulitan na hindi talaga siya pwedeng gamitin kasi parang nagkakaroon siya ng power or whatever. Of course, if you're not superstitious, that's a story. But again, it's a very cultural thing. Yung mga writing systems, there's a certain sacredness, and we also know that that's why the Filipinos were able to easily acquire the Roman way of writing of the Europeans because we are more of a speaking oral society, which means all our knowledge are passed to us orally and through memorization, but the writing was used by religious people and the datus. So mas elite. Kumbaga, even during the time of our ancestors, the writing system was already elitist. And we're really more of an oral people. Kaya uuso sa Pilipinas yung pagiging marites. I mean, just imagine that when a political person retires from service in the West, they write memoirs. Dito sa atin, hindi masyadong nagsusulat. I think Tito Ginggona, Senator Ginggona had a memoir. No? There are very few people who writes memoirs. Kaya ang nangyayari, there's so much misinformation and disinformation in history also of the Philippines kasi very oral ang ating way of transmitting knowledge.
Okay.
Kaya marites.
Thank you.
Salamat po sa mga tanong. Napakaganda po.
Meron po bang magtatanong pa kay Professor Chua?